Hi everybody, I just realized my microphone was on mute. It just figures, right? So, good evening again everybody. I was just saying hello to Linda and Carla. I hope you're both doing fantastically well, and everybody else that's here tonight. Super happy to be back. Alright, hopefully, I can see in the chat now that you can't hear me. But I can see the red light on my microphone now, so hopefully I'm back in action. I'll give it 1 second, and hopefully we'll be good. We'll be doing well and audible. All right, I think that's hopefully a positive sign. Hi, Carla again. Hopefully you're having a great evening. Hi. All right, look, everybody's here. Hi, Natalia and Vicky and Leanne. Oh, so wonderful to see everyone back again. This is super awesome. I'm really having fun every week now. This is turning into like a weekly tradition, I feel like. A calligraphy tradition. I need to think of a good way to combine those two words. Calliction? I don't know. That doesn't... Calligraphy? I don't know. I have fun combining words. Hopefully you guys get a little bit of humor out of my ridiculousness. But hello again. I am super excited to be here again. And howdy Ashraf and Larry. Super awesome to see you guys too. And I do have something new this week. I was able to set up a tipping link. So if anybody would like to leave a tip this week, it's always certainly appreciated. There's a link in the description of the video, and definitely would appreciate if anybody feels like they'd like to tip for any of the ridiculous words and fun that we tend to go through every week. So without further ado, I also think this week, also very excitingly, that I believe I figured out how to do the polls. So I'm now going to be able to leave polls that will hopefully make it easier for everybody to respond and prevent me from having to like swag count from the chat. So I'm gonna put one of them on now as I switch over to the other camera, and I'll talk about what we're gonna do today. I think it'll be fun. And you may not be expecting this, so I think this will be fun. But the first question that I'll ask today is, and this is going to be a continuation, so that's why I'm going to give it a second. So I've got my 3 ink cartridges here, a black one, a blue one, and a green one. So I'm going to see which color ink should I use. And I've got an extra keyboard this time. So let me type it in. So we will put in black, green, and blue, or turquoise is the actual color. So let me know. Hopefully you are all gonna see a little pop-up show up. Did that work? If not, oh, okay. It just took a second. Look at this. The numbers are already coming in. This is exciting. So I'm now gonna, while those numbers are rolling together, I'll switch to the other camera, and what you will see here in a second will be, let's pick that right view. All right, you should now see. So this is the art that we worked on last week. Oh, thank you very much, Leanne. I appreciate that kind comment about setting up the tipping. I've been trying to figure out so many things with this, like the polling today as well. But I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for saying you're having fun too. I'm having probably too much fun with these. It's getting crazy. So my thought last week was I usually kind of go away and finish these, and usually there's not too much left to do. I'm just scooching the microphone over so that hopefully you can still hear me. So usually there's not too much to do, but this time I wanted to add a little bit more lettering here in the middle, and I thought, rather than go away and do it offline, why not just kind of share this with everybody to see how one of these continues to come together. So this is what we created last week. Literally, this is where we left off. I ended up having like I mentioned in the chat, a fairly busy week and weekend with an unexpected opportunity that came up. So I didn't have as much time to do any fun lettering, so I thought this could be fun. So if you can kind of see, let me shut off this color or that light, and you can kind of see This is our gold reflective. It's actually the lime green, but it always comes out kind of goldish. So it looks like green. So now you've had a chance to think and see what color you want to go with this. So green so far looks like it's winning. And then, so I may close down this chat question, and I will have to fire up a new pen. Let's see if this is, yep, this one's got nothing. So I'll use green and gold. And then, so for the dipping, oh, thank you so much, Vicky. I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. Thank you so very much. Wow, so I've lost my train of thought, so that made me very happy. Thank you. So I was saying I think that I've got to load up the green pen. So it looks like green is winning or has won. So now it's time to, of course, pick the dipping ink. Oh, I'm so you're saying Vicky's saying her family loved her lettering. That's fantastic. If you, I'd be really curious to hear if you've been trying this style of calligraphy. Because that would be amazing. It makes me so happy when others try and when they create something that they're proud of, or that like their family loves or friends. It warms my heart for sure. So let's see. So I will say new survey question will be the dipping ink. So the options will be, I've got my 3 jars, and these are somewhat different. So they're here on the table now. So I've got gold. I almost spelled that with 2 G's. Silver. And we'll add one more. And we'll add one more. That will be white. And definitely don't underestimate white. White can be pretty cool too, even on white paper. It sounds crazy. And this is the same watercolor paper from last week, and I did look it up and realized that apparently me growing up in Canada influenced me wanting to pronounce it as like Grombacher or something like that, whereas the pronunciation is Grumbacher, I think. So this was Grumbacher watercolor paper, and then last week we used violet and gold. So. Oh, look out. White may have a fighting chance this week. Oh, dude, you took I see Vicky saying she took the workshop week class. That makes me super happy because that was obviously was free for everybody during workshop week. So a huge thanks to Becca for making that whole thing possible, and all of the other amazing instructors that were there. It was such a fun week. Even for all of us instructors who were having fun there. All right, it looks like white is in the lead, so this could be fun. Let me just get it stirred up. And sometimes I actually think sometimes the not going all metallic can make the metallic that's there look even more pronounced. So sometimes not having not going metallic all over the place can just emphasize the areas where it is metallic that much more. Oh, it's yes, Becca is definitely awesome. I owe her all sorts of thanks. She's fantastic. So yeah, it was so awesome to meet all of the friendly calligrapher friends there. All right, so we've got green, and I've got my white ink here, and I'm gonna grab. Just in case. This is the white ink I'm using for anyone that's curious. It's Rapidograph. I really like this ink. Let me zoom in a teensy bit. Okay, so it's Rapidograph white ink. I find this to be a pretty good ink. Like opaque and like even works well with these parallel pens. So the quote that I thought that we would use this week, I just went ahead and picked one, just so that we could spend more time lettering today. And so the outside quote that we used last week says, starting from, the challenge is always finding the starting point. That's right here. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. So ending in stairs there, over here. So the quote that I thought I would put in the middle is by one of my favorite artists who I used to watch growing up, with Bob Ross, who said, "We don't make mistakes, just happy accidents." I kind of thought that worked well, because you have to take the stairs, and you may make what you think are some accidents along the way, or some mistakes, but I think it helps to kind of think of them as happy accidents and sort of work with them as best you can. So let's see, we get the ink flow going, so a little bit of shaking, and then you can see we get a little bit of the green flowing through. And then let's start in the same corner. So I'm gonna keep the note next to me, so that hopefully I don't forget it. And now Carla's always been good at checking my ability to keep the spelling consistent. So we'll see. I did find this last week with not messing anything up. So we'll see how this week goes. And I think as just to have something under. Something to put under my hand. I usually use an extra sheet of paper. But today I've just got a paper towel handy. So I'll use that. And then here's my ink reservoir. I see Megan saying practice the basic strokes and watch lowercase alphabet video. Haven't tried dipping yet, but I did buy a couple of the inks. Awesome! I really can't wait to hear, and I mean, for sure, I'd love it if you come back and let me know how it goes, and if you need a hand with anything, because I'm always excited to hear how these projects go. I hope you find it easy, and if you run into any snags or anything, just let me know. Alright, so we don't make mistakes, just happy accidents. So I'm going to start here in this corner, and now I've got green and white. So very, very white here. So it's kind of a minty green now. I wonder if that's even visible. Can you guys see that okay? Alright, I think I may even do a little bit of wiping to get more ink flowing through. Alright, and then maybe I'll just give one good solid E letter. There we go. Or solid green. So how is everybody doing this week? Hopefully you are all doing well. Anybody else try any cool lettering designs or any calligraphy izing recently? And yeah, I see Carla saying it's a little bit light to start. Yeah, I think because I started with a fresh ink cartridge, it started like there wasn't enough green ink flow. So now it's starting to darken up a little bit more. So that W is a little bit light, but it's still visible-ish. You try to zoom in a little bit more. So it's there. It's just very, very minty, we'll call it. Let's try to brighten this up a bit for you guys. Let me know if that's too dark or too bright. So we don't... Let's just keep going with the green. Oh, awesome. I think Vicky's saying she practiced the lowercase basic strokes. That's awesome. Yeah, and then once you get comfortable with those, like the sky's the limit. You can for anybody who's on my newsletter, I've been, for the most part, over the past few weeks, just been kind of describing all of the creative ways that you can use Blackletter, even as you're just working with the basic strokes. And there's so many. Like I literally could go on for probably days about this, and I keep coming up with new ideas, and I'm always excited to hear what ideas others have too. And you can have fun even with those, just with those basic strokes. Just like you can try different colors, like what I'm doing. It doesn't just have to be black all the time, black lettering, even though that is the kind of the name of the lettering. It can be green lettering or blue lettering. See, we don't make. Oh, cool. Natalia's saying, yesterday I dipped in metallic watercolors with beautiful results. That's awesome. I don't think I've actually ever tried metallic watercolor inks or metallic watercolor paints. I might have to go do some hunting for some of those. I'd be very curious. What like, is there a brand of watercolor metallics? I mean, technically I probably don't need more inks. I think I've got enough. But you know, as artists and calligraphers, or just anyone being creative, right? You can never have enough art supplies, right? Am I alone in thinking that? We don't make. Alright. This guy, we don't make. Okay, so this has ended up being like a very minty green in the middle. Now we've got the M. Carla saying, getting used to a different pen. So are you trying the Pilot Parallel pen, Carla, or is this a different pen that you're using? And I see Stacy saying never too many art supplies. Okay, so I'm not alone. That's reassuring. I'm gonna do my descender S like I did before. We don't make mistakes. I think so far I've done okay with the spelling. Sorry if I'm going off screen there. Oh, that's awesome. I see Carl saying yes, the Pilot Parallel. Well, hopefully, I'd be interested to hear how your experience has been with it so far. And has anybody else tried Pilot Parallel, or I'd always interested to hear what tools other people are using too. Now E. Yeah, I think this was the first tool. Don't make mistakes. That I tried, and just I found it so easy to work with. But that's probably I'm also biased since it's the first tool that I worked with. I got very comfortable with them. so we don't make mistakes. I'm trying not to make mistakes today. We'll see how it goes. Or happy accident. Mistakes, and then just I'll leave a little bit extra space there. I think it's going to be a tight finish there on the J. So how's everybody feeling about the colors this week? HJUS. Some artisanal water. Oh, I see Natalia saying some artisanal watercolors from a local maker. Oh, and you live in Argentina. Wow, that's so cool. I think that's awesome that it's awesome that you found some supplies from a local maker. I think that's always wonderful to support those that are making things locally and local businesses. That's awesome. I tried to do that too. We have I'm in Houston. We have an art supply store. They obviously carry a lot of the big brands, but I try. Obviously, COVID slowed things down a little bit, but I tried to purchase supplies from there whenever I can. It's a great store. It's Texas Art Supply here in Houston. It's another place. Who else here can spend hours in an art supply store? I tend to go there, and then I feel like I'm entering a black hole, or some kind of a time vortex where several hours can pass, and I feel like I just got started looking. So there's the first E. Let's see, just get a little bit more white. I realize I'm probably falling behind on the chat a bit. Alright, how's it coming? And I'm doing a quick smudge check too. Looks like things are okay so far. And I'll zoom out in a second. Let's see, created a piece with the purple dipped into Genesis green with the accent color. Oh, cool! Yogi saying she created a piece with the purple dipped into Genesis green. I think those are the colors that we used last week, if I remember correctly. I may have to go back and watch the live stream to go remember what the colors were. Cool. I'm gonna have to go check that out. I've been sorely behind on social media for a while now. I've just started to post again recently. But yeah, I've just fallen completely behind. For anybody who doesn't know, I actually lost my original Instagram account in December of last year. I never got an answer as to what happened, but I woke up one day and I couldn't log in and was not able to let anybody know what had happened, reply to any messages or anything like that. It was definitely a bit of a bummer. But it ended up, I try to see the positive in things. That was definitely a tough loss, but in at least in the social media world, but gave me a chance to start anew. Okay, I feel like the tip may be getting a little bit full of ink, so let's do a quick little washing. Let me see what's happening in the chat too. I don't fall too far behind. Oh, cool. Oh, thanks, Vicky, liking the... So yes, I definitely look forward to seeing Yogi's work with last week's colors, if memory is serving me correctly. Oh, cool. And Larry's saying you used the Pilot Parallel 3mm to Blackletter envelope name and addresses. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. That is fantastic. Yeah, it's a really cool style, and I think what I found is a lot of people seemed that they were like intimidated. I mean, I was a bit too at first when I started learning, but I just like had so much fun just because I tend to play around with colors and stuff. And sentences, so I just kind of get lost in the silliness. You could probably tell I have a bit of a silly streak in me. So I just had a lot of fun trying to break things down into as simple as possible, of like lines and things like that. That's what I kind of built that YouTube video off of. I'm just trying to get the ink flow going. Sometimes when you load up a new cartridge, and then especially if you start dipping in inks, then like I feel like the ink flow can get a little bit impeded at first. So like I notice if I don't work with a pen for a little while, there'll almost be like an overwhelming ink flow. I think that happened on one of the streams recently where like the blue, or I think it might have been in a workshop where I was using a blue cartridge and I was using Bristol paper, and Bristol is usually very resilient to the inks, and it was bleeding with the Bristol paper, which I was surprised about. And Carla's, I see Carla's keeping me in check with the spelling. I'm glad, even though I'm yapping a lot this week, I'm glad that the spelling is still looking okay. Thanks everybody saying that it's looking good. Yeah, I think I really, you wouldn't think that white would be a color that you would want to dip in for a light colored paper, but I think it really does kind of give an interesting effect. Like with almost any color. I've tried it with red, with blue, and obviously with green now. This might be the first time that I do this with green. But yeah, it actually can create some really neat ink effects. Looks like I'm gonna have a little bit too much room. This happy accident, I almost spelled that with an I. So let's salvage. This will be kind of a combo I and E. Oh, and see, I see Stacey saying last week's colors are so beautiful now that they've dried. It really does make a difference when they dry. And like all the credit goes to you and everyone else that's here. It was your awesome calls that came up with. It's kind of an I and E combined. That came up with the colors last week and pretty much every week, including this one. So, go team! I feel like we need we're gonna need a name for all of us blacklettering fans soon, like a cool community name or something like that. I tend to be, for all of my joy combining and inventing new words, I tend to not be great at naming things, so I'd love to hear if anybody has any ideas. There's the T. Okay. So I'm gonna have a little bit of extra room, so let's see what I can fill it with. There's the S. And this is good. We're at 8:30 today, so there's still a decent amount of time. So happy accident. So what do you think I should put in there? I'm thinking Bob, or Bob Ross, since it's a quote by him. Because I think Ross might be too tight for that little space there. So I'm thinking I'll put Bob's first name in there. I see Leanne saying, saying it, you feel the same way about supply stores. I totally feel you. It's like I call these places like black holes where I jump in and I jump in and hours go by and I'm like, I can't believe I've been here for this long. Let's see. Feel the same way about supply stores. I see Megan saying that once you moved, made sure you located the art supply store in the nearest city and visited. Good. So did it live up to your expectations? Was it good? Okay, I'm seeing some approval for Bob. Let's put Bob in here. I think that'll fit nicely. Oh, and I see Leanne. I'd love to leave a tip, but can't do PayPal. Don't do PayPal. Oh, that's no problem. Right now I'm trying to figure out other utilities and stuff, but no worries. I certainly appreciate the sentiment. Isn't that the? I feel like I'm messing up the saying. It's the sentiment that counts. So I certainly appreciate it, and I will keep you posted if there's any other mechanisms in the future. I was happy to figure out one so far. So let's get Bob. But thank you very much, Leanne. I do appreciate it. Oh, and I see Vicky saying you'll be trying white tomorrow. That is awesome. Okay, and this this speed's gonna collide a little bit, so I'm just gonna start it right around there. All right, and there we go. So now we have. I will zoom out, and you can see what we created, or how it's looking so far. So again, go team! Awesome color selections. So I'm going to turn off the light so you can see the metallic, and then the. So if I hold it up to the light, you can see the metallic edge there, and then the center is green and white. So yeah, I'll be very curious to hear how your white experiment goes tomorrow, Vicky. So definitely let us know how it goes. I actually have Dr. P.H. Martin white as well. I think, if memory serves, it was a little bit less opaque, like a little bit more transparent than this guy. But I'd be very interested to hear how it goes for you. I may have to. In one of my little sketchbooks, I did a page where I tried out a bunch of different white inks just to compare. Maybe next week I will have that one ready if anybody's curious to see that. Because I was curious just to try out all these different inks and see how they compare to each other and what they look like. So maybe save you all a little bit of experimenting too, or you might see something in there that you like. So let's zoom back in, and I'll start finishing off this inner circle. Okay. Go a bit brighter. Okay, so now, like, even though that first W is super light, sometimes now when I go in and add those like center diamond strokes, it gives me an opportunity maybe to add a little bit more like weight to it. Oh, and speaking of when you don't write with the pen for a little while, how the ink will tend to flow into the tip. Look at how dark that first little diamond is. And it's a funny contrast to the white. So maybe I'll give it a little bit of white ink. Because yeah, that green is now very nice and wet coming out of the pen. So that's a T. So I'm not gonna, because there's not a whole lot of room here, I'm not gonna go too crazy with the crossbars and stuff like that. I see Megan saying that the art supply store in your new town didn't have as much stuff as in the Old Town. I would imagine that definitely could be a bummer. So hopefully, maybe the Old Town one had a website or something, still orderable, or there's always the Amazon out there. Awesome. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to do like a super close-up angle of this stuff, just so that you can see some of the ink blends and combinations. Okay. So what do you all think? Was it a good call to finish this one together this week? Or at least come as close as possible to finishing it together. I think last week, at the end, I remember leaving with the idea that we were going to go with black in the center. So that was, my plan was actually to go with black in the middle and then dip it in white, kind of like I'm doing now, to make it just a little bit lighter so that it wouldn't be too dark in the middle. But I'm now glad that we are doing this one together, because I wouldn't have picked green. My other inclination was going to be blue and silver. So it was either going to be black, white, or blue and silver, which I realize are maybe very different combinations. Awesome. Well, I'm seeing, looks like a few friends are happy that we finished this one together. And what's cool is now I have a little bit of time. You can help me pick some outlines and stuff as we finish the B-O-B. And I'll tend to flip the pen. I find that if you've noticed, I've been asked about that before, which is why I mention it, about flipping the pen. For me, for some reason, I feel like this is up. Where this little notch is on the pen. But sometimes when I'm working, especially when I'm dipping, I find that sometimes if I flip the pen, I get like a little bit more of the ink will flow, versus like maybe it's starting to get clogged in one direction, whereas if I pull it down, the gravity might pull the ink further down to the other side. So if anybody's curious about that. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. Let's see what else I need to... We don't make mistakes, so that's an I. So let's go almost like, maybe we can even connect those two. It looks like over here, as though it transitions from the purple right into the green for the dot of the I, and that's, you know, it's one of those little things that sometimes just happens serendipitously, if that's the right word. All right, let's see. Let's take this S and go out here to the left, maybe. Yeah, we'll just give it a simple curve like that. I may not go too crazy with the inside of this one. When I say crazy, I mean the flourishes. Maybe I'll keep it simple. Maybe even just a teeny tiny J. Or maybe give it just a little. Okay, just because it seems this inner quote got like more congested. So maybe I'll just come with one over here. Oh, looks like I did the Y over here. Just draw a little one. And then I want this S to go to the right. This last one. You see Carlos saying going from brush pens to pilot parallel are different. Yes, I understand what you were mentioning earlier now. Going from brush to a parallel would be a very different experience for writing. But hopefully you're finding it fun. So in this case, I'm going to come around here. And maybe just because I find these fun, maybe I will do just one biggish sort of a flourish. There we go. Something like that. Okay, D. And then this is a T here. Maybe because there's already a lot going on here, I'll just keep this one simple. Just do a little bit something like that. Bob. So for some reason in this space, I'm feeling like giving the B for Bob a little bit of extra pizzazz up there. I believe these are the technical calligraphy terms. Pizzazz, right? I feel like give the D some pizzazz as well. And this is a T. Got a little bit of room, but feeling like keeping this one fairly simple too. Maybe just a little curve. And then a little pizzazz on the K. There we go. Okay, so I've got more room here with the T. And there's more space here, so maybe we'll come across and then do like a big loopy thing that connects to the H. And then there's an I here. I haven't gotten any white in a while, so let me get a little of the white ink. So for the I, since I've got still got space there, I'm gonna swoosh in from the left. And again, more very technical calligraphy terminology. So I'm just gonna swoosh in from the left there, like that. All right, what do you all think? How are we doing so far? So I think we're pretty close to being done with these, with the inner circle. I'm just going to wipe down. So usually at this point, I would kind of take stock of how things are looking and then start to make some choices about like colors for outlines, where to put the outlines. Let's make it darker. You can see this a bit better. Okay, feels about right. And then I'll wash this off. So what do you guys think? So these are usually the options. So I've already created a center ring. I could obviously erase that and just go with these two, but I kind of like the idea of having that center ring. So the options are usually I could put outlines on both circles, could do an outline on just one of them and leave the other one with the lettering. I don't know. I'm on the fence with this one right now. So this is where I'd usually maybe start cleaning, look for other things. Looks like I forgot the dot on the I, or on the J, sorry. I'll add that there. And let me catch up on the chat too. So Carla was thinking about blue and silver today. That's interesting. Apparently we were on the same color wavelength. Whatever like psychic radio station was happening there. We were tuned into the same station. Let's see. And investments are spectacular. Thank you very much, Vicky and Carla and Natalia. I really appreciate it. And I'm very excited to see all of your work too. I'm gonna have to catch up on Instagram to see what's happening there and what I've missed out on. So feel free to message me or even tag me if you're on Instagram and have the opportunity to share anything there. I always love seeing what people are creating. So, oh, cool. Carla's saying like the center of a flower. It's a very colorful flower. This one is. I don't know any flowers that are green on the inside and purple and yellow, but that'd be a really cool flower. All right, so what does everyone think? Let me see. I've never even closed the previous poll. Looks like white may not have, or white was the winner, but with a mine less than 50%. Okay, I see Leanne asking about how are you cleaning the tips of your pen? Just dipping them in water? Yeah, so really quick summary is this is just a small jar with water in it, and I'll just even if it has a little bit of ink, I'll just do kind of a quick dip and then a quick wipe of the tip, and that that kind of is good enough just while working, and then I'll kind of wipe down that kind of the plastic part. If you want something a little bit more like it's a little stronger, I've also used maybe a couple of drops of dishwashing soap or dish soap in this bottle. Sometimes a very small amount of ammonia too, just to get it clean. I find that kind of helps get a very thorough cleaning. I'll usually do that kind of at the end when I've depleted the ink supply in here, then I'll do a more thorough cleaning. And for anyone who isn't aware, I tend to have a bunch of extra ones. So I'll just do this very quickly, and then start letting me know if you have any ideas for the outlines. But you can actually also pull the feed out of these pens so that you can clean this plastic section more thoroughly. So just be aware that you can do that too with these pens. All right, outline in silver. Interesting. So I'm looking under the desk. No problem, Leanne. Happy to help. So yeah, most of the time I'm just dipping in water while I'm working. Other times, again, tiny bit of ammonia if you want to be extra clean, or even just a drop or two of dish soap. And I tend to have these like little jars. Here's another one. Around me, they're just easy to fill with a little bit of water. Okay, so I do still have this Sparkle Pop silver one. I think that was the silveriest of the silvers. I could just do a felt tip pen. Part of me was thinking about just doing green on the inside of this one. So okay, let's take a quick vote then. Let's see, what do you think? So I'll start working on, since we have a little bit of time left, I'll start working on the inner circle, and we'll do a super fast. Let me see if I can run a super quick ninja pull. So we will call this one inner outline color. And the options will be silver, unless anybody's wants to jump in with a super fast suggestion, or green. All right, the survey is out. So let's see. So there's silver. Because this is a really fine pen, that's kind of why I lean towards the green, just because it's a finer tipped pen. Let me see if I do have this silver. Maybe about 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, probably. All right, it looks like silver's... Oh, wait. These survey results are changing on a dime. Look at this. Okay, Megan is saying, I think green might blend too much with the lettering. Okay, it's it's a neck and neck tie right now. Okay, well, since 2 folks have voted for silver, let's try silver, and we'll get started. Let's see how it goes. Just because my hesitation initially was just because this is the ball point of this pen is a little bit wider, but I do like the color. So let's see how this goes. Brighten things up. Let me know if you guys can see okay. Maybe that's too bright. Let me know if it's too bright or too dark. All right, so let's start. So here's where the W was. Let's see. Okay. I think yeah, if I write lightly, the pen will stay thin enough that I could pull this off. Let's see. Just got to keep the steady hands. And this is always the process that I use. Just slow and meticulous. So let's see. Some of these are just going to end up becoming little dots and lines. But I think this is going to be pretty cool. You are all quite awesome color selectors. We need a better title for sure. Oh, I see Yogi just suggested why not try purple? Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind for next time or for a future one. But that is a good idea. That would have gone with the outside. But I'm now in the depths of silver. And I do realize this is probably going to be hard to make out on the stream. Let's see. Because it's such a light color, it is a little tough to see, but I have enough lighting here that I can make it. I can kind of see the areas it's filling in. I'm definitely noticing everyone here seems to like metallics, which is cool because I love them too. Call us colorist. Awesome. We have the colorist community. The Blackletter colorists. Okay, let me see. How are we doing? 8:53. So I'm gonna try to turn off the light and see if you can make out the. Do you see how it's sparkly there in the center? I realize it's a bit dark, but hopefully the silveriness is coming across. Hopefully you can see. I know in this view it probably just looks like I'm doing almost nothing in these little spaces, but there is ink going in there. I mean, heck, maybe even gold would have been a fun choice. Honestly, this is one of the ways that I get excited about creating stuff, and I think it's one of the reasons I always encourage people to have fun and experiment. Because now I have, thanks to you, I have the idea that, oh man, it'd be cool to do a green and white with now purple in the middle, and what about even doing gold in the middle? That could be interesting with the same color combination on the outside. And I find that I get, at least for me, I find that I get so excited and wrapped up about these different project ideas that the calligraphy practice just ends up happening naturally, just out of the excitement of working out different project ideas and color combinations. And that's, for me at least, that's kind of how I always practiced. Was I would just try out different color combinations. I have all these inks, so I would try combining different inks together and see what color combinations would happen. And I would write silly sentences like pangrams or just something that inspired me or meant a lot to me. And that would always kind of motivate me to practice more. Because it didn't feel like practicing, I just was having fun. And I see Vicky saying this is so different from what I would choose and so much color. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm enjoying our crowdsourced calligraphy. Maybe that's what we're creating on these. So I have almost made it through halfway through this circle. At least with the inner segment. So not bad. We had got an additional layer in. Got to go over a few questions too. This is fun. I can't thank you all enough for stopping by, and I definitely appreciate any of the tips. They really mean the world, and liking and the subscriptions really means a lot. Thank you all very, very much. I'm enjoying spending these Mondays with everybody. I think I can end the poll now. Since we've already committed to silver. All right. It's honestly even a little hard for me to see when it's all lit up. Like, well lit right now so that I can work. The metallics are always so much fun when you shine them in light at different angles and stuff. So let's see. And you know what else you can do? You can also, it's like all of these don't have to be one color. You can always try different colors. I've done that before too. Maybe I'll have to find one where I was even just testing ideas for color combinations and just made a design using multiple colors. So they don't even have to be consistent all the way around the circle. You can just do whatever you like. Try new ideas and have fun. But it's been super exciting hearing everybody trying using the calligraphy for lettering and practicing with the new supplies. All right. Almost made it all the way around. Let's see. Maybe I can see when I start to rush, that's when things start to get a little sloppier. But it would be really cool to at least make it around the circle with the inner part. So hopefully you all will forgive me if I'm like 2 minutes over today. Because I would love to share this live. Oh, thank you very much, Stacey. It looks like silver leaf through your camera. Yeah, it's a really cool pen for anybody who is curious. This is just it's the Pentel Sparkle Pop pen. They're really cool. Maybe since I'm running low on time, maybe I could even do one of these where we just talk about supplies and I do some like just loose lettering or something like that. But because I have so many things around me. But these pens are really cool. They write on white or dark paper, and some of them even like it may appear to be one color on white paper and it'll be a different color on black paper, which is what sold me on them. These are one of the pens that I got from the art supply store. And when I saw them there and they had little tester paper out with the pens, I bought every color that they had after I played around with them. So they're very, very glittery, which is my favorite part of them. And Carla saying, thank you so much for sharing your gift of calligraphy art. Oh, thank you. You have a wonderful evening too, Carla. Sounds like she might be signing off. All right. I have made it all the way around. I didn't finish any of the edges or anything like that, but there we go. I still didn't get the inside of the bee. Not my cleanest work ever, probably. But I think this will be fun, like a fun reveal for the end today, just to see how it looks. So I'm gonna make this light brighter. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Okay, so here's how that center circle looks now. Can you guys see that okay? So yeah, really cool. So now we've got, let's zoom out. One of these days I'm going to remember which direction is out versus in with the camera lens. Hopefully that'll happen, because I always end up turning it in the wrong direction first. All right, so here you go. So that may even be too. Let's make it darker. I'll make it more obvious. Can you see that now? So there we go. We've got our cool design. Awesome. So I am going to swap back. Hopefully any moment now. And say, as I dim this light a bit, I'm going to say a huge thank you again to all of you for stopping by this Monday evening. I was actually right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes past. It's been so nice spending the last hour with everybody again tonight. Thank you for any of the tips. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It means the world. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you all next week. We'll see how this one ends up getting finished. So you can see it live right next to me. But thank you all so much for joining me again tonight. And hopefully we will see you next week. All right. Have a great night. Stay safe and take care, everybody. Good night.